Good morning, everyone. Myself, Abhijit Kumar Chaudhary. I am working as an Assistant General Manager in Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. Today, I'll be speaking about few of the challenges in Mumbai Metro Line 3.
Let us begin with the historical facts about Mumbai. Mumbai was initially a group of 7 islands. The islands were coalesced into a single landmass by backfilling. Originally, Mumbai was developed as a port city, which later transformed to a textile manufacturing center, trading hub, a land of opportunities, city of dreams, the Bollywood, state capital, financial capital of India, and home for 20 million people. And after backfilling, you can see the red line, which is our Mumbai Metro Line 3, which is going through the backfield area, reclaimed area. So it just shows how varied geology we have in Mumbai Metro Line 3. So let's see the status of existing public transport infrastructure in Mumbai. Mumbai has a suburban railway network system, which is a 465 kilometers track length. 2,800 trains run on the system, serving 131 stations, which is also supplemented by an integrated bus transport network system. Rail network carries around 8 million passengers every day. Rail traffic has increased 7 to 8 times, but the capacity has only increased 2 to 3 times. So, rail network is running over capacity by 5 times approx. More than 2,500 people died and over 3,000 people were injured in Mumbai's suburban railway network, according to the data compiled by Mumbai's Railways Police Commissionerate in 2019. Similar condition is also of a road network system. There is a 56% of growth in city's vehicle count from 2012 to 2017. Approx 35 lakh vehicles has increased on the road. Hence, there is an urgent need of international quality mass rapid transport system in the city. Uh, let's see the benefits. Connected the unconnected is our motto in Mumbai Metro Line 3, as it connects all the major uh, central business districts such as Nariman Point, Cuff Parade. It also connects areas which were not served by suburban railways. It is going to connect airport, domestic terminal, and international both, and it will be having interchange with existing public transport at various locations. It will be once Metro Line 3 is completed, it will be connecting 30 employment clusters, government private offices, 12 educational institutions, 11 major hospitals, and 25 religious and recreation structures. Most important benefit is in form of environmental, as it is going to reduce 35% reduction in traffic. There will be 4,56,771 less vehicle trips per day. There will be reduced fuel consumption. We will be saving 2,43,390 liters per day. As per the study, there will be reduction of air population by 2.61 lakhs ton per year. Mumbai Metro region. The first pic in the left shows the plan for the development of all the metro lines proposed in Mumbai Metro region. Only line 1, Warsaw Andheri Ghatkopar, that is of 11 kilometers, is in operation as of now. All other lines are in construction or planning phase. Once completed, it will be a total of 357 kilometers metro track in Mumbai. The pic in the right shows alignment of Mumbai Metro Line 3, which starts from Cuff Parade, Kolaba, passes through Dadar, Worli, Dharavi, BKC, and ends in RA. Scope of work and project management. It's 33.5 kilometers completely underground network consisting of 26 underground stations and one station at grade in depot at RA. Its civil cost is approx 23,137 crores, out of which 57.2% is provided as a soft loan by a Japan bank, and rest is contributed by Government of India and Government of Maharashtra. In December 2021, first phase of network, that is from BKC to SEEBS, will be implemented and rest of the network by June 2022. We are expecting a ridership of around 14 lakh in 2021 at its starting. Project management. We have a full in-house team of MMRC, and we have appointed a general consultant, which is a consortium of AECOM, Louis Berger, Agistral, and Podeco as an engineer. And then there is a full team of contractors with detailed design consultant and design checkers. We have divided entire line into 8 packages, including depot, consisting of 55 kilometers of tunneling using 7 different TBMs launched at 11 different launching shafts, internal and external. 26 underground stations, out of which 7 are off the road and 19 metro stations are below the roads, in which 7 stations are done using NATM method and rest will be cut and cover. The 7 package has been awarded to 5 international bidders as L&T Stack JV, HCC Most Metros Troy JV, Dogus Soma JV, CCITD Tata Project Limited JV, J Kumar CRTG JV. Challenges. According to Dr. Sridharan, also known as Metro Man of India, this is the most difficult, most challenging, and technically the most complex metro project for the country has undertaken. One should consider lucky to be associated with this project. Dr. Sridharan has changed the face of public transport in India with its leadership. There are numerous challenges in the work in the Mumbai. We will discuss a few challenges encountered by us. During the course of tunneling, numerous challenges were dealt with the technical expertise available. Structures above the ground were in average aged around 75 to 80 years, with maximum age of some of the structures being more than 120 years. So more than 3,000 structures were surveyed and is under monitoring for the line. For instance, in a package 2, out of total 1,004 structures in the influence zone of the tunnels, 51 were heritage structures, including places of worship. 28 were in severe condition, 238 were in very severe conditions, as per building damage classification after Berlin 1977. And around 120 structures were not granted permission for the building condition survey. Most of the structures were in a dilapidated state, and the foremost challenge was to pass under these structures with varied geological conditions. Critical structures were supported and repaired to reduce the risk of a collapse. We passed through a Ram Mandir, which is a 200 years old, Saint Teresa Church, 270 years old, and 2 Parsi fire temples in a span of 4 kilometers in package 2. Extensive instrumentation and monitoring regime was enforced for all the structures along the alignment to counter any unforeseen situations. Monitoring was carried out for vibration level, settlement, tilt, real-time monitoring for the 3D deflection in building across the alignment through prisms were also carried out. Let us see this video.
As construction activities are in full swings, certain apprehensions were raised by neighborhood community regarding safety of buildings in the close proximity of station construction sites and tunneling operations. Building Condition Survey or BCS was conducted by MMRCL before finalizing the construction standards and conditions of contract. The survey also facilitated categorization of building based on their conditions before start of works. The BCS and vibration studies provided reasonable understanding of vulnerability of the structures to heavy construction activity in their close vicinity and helped designers in setting permissible limits of vibration by all construction activities. Vibration levels caused due to various works are being continuously recorded by scientific instruments and regularly measured and monitored. The contractors are ensuring that the tunneling and deep excavations for stations will not trigger limits set based on condition of building categories. The total number of structures surveyed so far for Metro Line 3 are 2,790. 24/7 online monitoring is carried out for the weak and sensitive heritage buildings during course of tunneling and station works. Also, when TBM passes through any area, MMRCL monitors the adjoining buildings above the ground for 24 hours, and even after the TBM is passed, it monitors the building for 3 months on daily basis for any deformation. Other than safety of buildings, safety of workforce involved in tunneling operations is of utmost priority for MMRCL. It believes in Mission Zero Accident and putting all effort to make it successful. All the construction sites of tunneling have tally board system to accurately indicate the number and location of persons underground at all times. It provides all basic facilities like first aid kits and rooms, smoke and fire detection alarm systems, a water sprinkler and fire curtain. To detect the presence of toxic gases, the gas monitoring system has been implemented inside the tunnel at the interval of every 4 hours. There is ventilation system provided throughout the tunnel for undisturbed supply of fresh air in order to maintain 6 times air changes per hour. Fire extinguishers are installed at every 15 to 30 meters. Emergency lights are placed at every 50 meters. For undisturbed communication, walkie-talkies and telephones are available at every 100 meters. There are also closed-circuit breathing apparatus or CCBAs available at emergency control room to handle fire emergencies. The workable temperature inside the tunnel and around TBM is maintained around 27 degrees Celsius. The authorities are also continuously monitoring the sites at the emergency control room through CCTV. In order to implement effective safety, workers are given proper training for specific job. Other than this, a 96-hour workers' safety training is a must for all the workers with pre-medical examination. Apart from this, various Indian standards provisions are in position in the project to achieve the effective, efficient and reliable safety monitoring system, that is IS 14775, IS 3775 and IS 14489, etc.
Here are few pics showing structural support of existing buildings. Few pics showing NATM monitoring. Utility support, shifting and diversion is another major challenge encountered and tackled well. Here you can see in the image, while making way for construction of tunnels and underground stations, many utilities have been encountered. These utilities belong to 25 different owners. Water lines of different sizes, such as ranging from 12 mm to 2800 mm with pressure up to 70 bars. Sewer lines 1200 mm dia to box of 3.6 into 3.6 meters. Gas lines 63 mm to 300 mm dia, and electrical cables and telecommunication cables were found. Most of the stations are planned in existing roads. The gap between secant piles and property line are very less. Hence, most of the time, diversion of existing utilities could not be done. So only option left is to support them in their existing position using support from decking or plunge column assembly. For example, you can see the pic at right. The pic is of Grant Road metro station, where you can see the construction line is just 2 meters away from the property line. So we hardly get any space for utility diverting. So let's see critical utilities at Sahar Road metro station, how we have supported them in their existing condition, where we have 2.7 meter dia MS water line, 44-year-old and 70 PSL pressure, 2.4 meter dia MS water line, 80 years old with 70 PSL pressure, two numbers 1.45 meter dia water line with 40 years old with 40 PSL pressure, and zero point 0.6 dia CI water pipeline, 100 years old with 30 PSL pressure. You can see in the figure existing structures. So in stage 1, we divert the traffic and install micropiles and king post. In stage 2, we install longitudinal girder on king post with truss on the top of longitudinal beams. In stage 3, we excavate till the soffit of the utility pipes, install the bottom cross beam of utility pipes. In stage 5, we excavate till base slab soffit as per the methodology approved. Stage 6, casting of station box by bottom up approach, and then it's backfilled with the support to the pipes. Decking will be removed and traffic will be reinstated as it was prior to the construction work. Similarly, at Acharya Atre Chowk station box, we diverted the traffic. We installed the secant piles and plunge columns. Then we installed the traffic deck. And then we started excavation and supported the existing utilities on the traffic deck. Here are some pics showing the support of existing utilities. Every station has a unique challenges and unique resolution. Now we'll talk about the tunnels. Here you can see 11 launching shafts from where 17 different TBMs were launched and relaunched. Till date, we have completed 85% of tunneling. Approx 46.5 kilometers of tunnel has been completed. We have used EPB, slurry, and dual mode hard rock TBMs and crossover hybrid TBMs manufactured by Robbins TerraTech, Robbins NFM, Heron Connect, and Stack. Construction sequence and methodology. Here you can see few pics of an circular external launching shafts from where TBM has been launched. These are pics for internal launching shaft, which is a part of a station, which is rectangular in shape, and TBM is being lowered. Let us see a time-lapse video of TBM lowering and assembling of different TBM body parts. Middle shield is being lowered. Front shields with cylinders. Cutter head. Manlock. And now TBM body assembling is being done. Tail shield bottom part. Erector. Bridge. Screw conveyor. Tail shield top. This is usual procedure for TBM assembling, and at the time of retrieval, same thing is done for the TBM retrieval also. We deassemble and shift it to other location for relaunch. Usually when a TBM is retrieved, it's being dismantled in pieces, which usually takes around 25 to 35 days for dismantling and transporting it to another site for the relaunch its drive. And it takes 30 to 45 days again to reassemble and relaunch the TBM. So here we opted not to dismantle TBM body and transported TBM body as a whole, which saves us minimum 45 to 50 days. You can see the video how it has been done. Total weight of TBM lowered shield with cutter head and cradle is 496 tons, and it has been lifted by stand jack gantry system in one go. So we have shaved around 45 to 60 days. Here are few pics showing the same procedure, lifting a TBM body as a whole. TBM shield part with cutter head having length of 12.5 meter dia, 6.65 meter and weighing around 496 metric ton is transported without dismantling from Worli to Science Museum. Another major challenge was from the heavy water ingress encountered during the course of the tunneling. The primary grout was instantly washed off due to the heavy water ingress. Water thus accumulated behind the tail shield and flowed towards the cutter head. polyurethane grout, PU grout, was put up to use to cut off the ingress water from the cutter head. The ring closest to the tail shield was grouted with PU to create a bulkhead for the flowing water, and thereafter 20 rings behind. This bulkhead were grouted with PU, thus isolating this approximately 28 meter of the zone, which was taken for the usual cement grout. Usually we were using 380 kgs of cements per meter MQ for grouting. But for the area which is having higher water ingress, we have used 700 kg per MQ for the tail skin grouting, and we have grouted in this manner. So thus ensuring the water tightness of the rings. So let's talk about stations. We have Metro Line 3 has 19 cut and cover station. Method of construction is bottom construction method. It has 7 NATM station in 4 structural forms. As in Mumbai, there is very less space available. So every station has a unique design and unique construction methodology. We'll see uh, one of the 4 structural forms of NATM station was at Kalba Devi, where we have cut and cover shafts at either end. So this is the plan. You can see the cut and cover box. This smaller circular tube is for the TBM tunnel. After the TBM tunnel passes, the tunnel has to be enlarged using NATM method. 2 boxes are there for the station, and these boxes will be also connected with the larger dia tunnel using NATM methodology. So this station was very unique. Just to show how densely populated Mumbai is and our alignment is going through it. This is a picture of our alignment on a Google image for a package 2. Kalva Devi metro station. As you have seen in previous slide, the Google image of the location. So we do not have any government land parcel in this area for the carving out metro station. So we have acquired 2 land parcels from the private owners, and then we created this 2 shafts from which it was planned to excavate and go below and start the NATM work for the station. But what happened? We were behind schedule in getting these land parcel from the private owners with negotiations. So what we started after the TBM has passed, we started excavating from the tunnel itself. This is how we have done. So you can see here, these are the land parcels which were quite delayed. So we have started after the TBM breakthrough of this line, we have started excavation from these edits. And once we went inside, we started connecting these edits for the central tunnel. So in this way, we haven't waited for the land parcel to be available. We started the construction work within the. Here we can see a small video from CST metro station to Kalba Devi metro station, which is the only way for taking out the murk generated in the Kalba Devi station metro construction work. We can also
see a little glimpse of all three edits and the work going on inside. This is the edit one. So here is another video of showing a blast from the TBM tunnel and the precautions we are using it. And there is another video of a rock breaking after removing the segments using a smaller poke lane. It's done till we create sufficient space for drill and blast method to be used. This is how we do it. We drilled core in the segments. We remove the segments. We support it, and then we move inside the segment. We drill with the initially with the hand drillers, then with the smaller poke lane to create sufficient space for drill and blast method. Here you can see once the sufficient space is created, we use the drill and blast method. This is a view of Adit 1 from where once we went inside, we start excavating for the central tunnel. You can see the complete view from Edit 3 and excavation going for central tunnel. These are few pictures from 3 edits. This is an BIM model view of Kalba Devi metro station, where you can see all the station boxes, the tunnels connecting them. Some more photos of NATM works in the line 3. What are the upcoming metro projects and opportunities in India? We are having around 632.71 kilometers metro works in operation. 451.62 kilometers are under construction, and 1542.66 kilometers has already been planned or approved. So in coming years, we'll be having this much amount of work in India. Thank you.